Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
17 News at Sunrise begins with breaking news.
Good morning, it is 5 a.m. and we begin this morning with breaking news. You may have felt it earlier this morning, about an hour ago, an earthquake up in Nevada.
Yeah, this happened just about 4:03 this morning. I was just getting into the building. I didn't feel anything, but a lot of people here in Kern County actually felt this. Alex, you felt it at your house, right?
I did feel it, Maddie, and it was one of those things where I immediately thought I felt something and ran outside or ran into my dining room to see if the chandelier was swaying, and sure enough it was. I just want to put this in perspective because it is a big earthquake that we're talking about in Nevada, and it is, of course, being felt by a lot of people, by tens of thousands of people across California this morning. But I want to put things in perspective just a little bit about how we're feeling it here in Bakersfield. And according to the USGS, it says a lot of people in the Bakersfield area felt light shaking. So again, nothing terrible, but definitely a lot of people felt it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this was a big earthquake, a 6.2. It was originally put out as a 6.4. It was later downgraded a little bit. And since then, they've had several earthquakes. Just a few minutes ago, about 8 minutes ago, they had a 4.7. They've had 5.1s, 4.9s, and several 4s since this first quake struck at about 4:03. Let's show you on a map where exactly, or actually, let's show you some of the shaking that we saw here in Kern County. This is coming to us from our associate producer, Raquel Vega. This was the chandelier, I believe, in her home this morning, just swaying a little bit. Yeah, so this happened it happened near a place called Mina, Nevada, which is a census-designated area in Mineral County, Nevada. This is a tiny little area. It only has a population of about 150 people. There is a city a little bit further away from it that has about 2,000 people, but all of the areas around it look really remote. However, it's only about 124 miles from Mammoth Lakes. So just to give you a little perspective on where it is in relation to us, it's close to Mammoth Lakes. That's, one of the reasons we're feeling it here in Kern County. We've gotten a lot of calls so far this morning about people who woke up to the shaking. Social media users reporting they felt the shaking in Bakersfield, Fresno, and as far north as Sacramento. And we've had several calls into our newsroom about what woke them up this morning. We're going to talk to one of those viewers right now. She's joining us on the phone. This is Azizi Grundy. She lives in Bakersfield off Stein Road and Taft Highway in that area near Pumpkin Center. Azizi, good morning. Thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning.
So were you already awake or did this wake you up?
It woke me up. I felt a jerk at my bed, thought it was one of the children, looked up, it wasn't, so I got up, came in the dining area and looked at the chandelier and it was swaying. So I said it was an earthquake.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone else in your house feel it?
Nope, the kids didn't feel it.
Slept right through it. Any sort of damage, anything knocked off the walls? I mean, we know it was just kind of probably swaying, so probably nothing really was moved around besides that.
No, nothing, no.
What did you think?
I was like, wow, we're due.
We've certainly heard that since these Ridgecrest earthquakes hit about 10 months ago, that this is going to be much more the norm, especially for us here in California, even though this one hit in Nevada this morning. Well, Azizi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I hope you can get a little more sleep.
Yes, I will.
Okay, good. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to Alex, and he's going to talk a little bit about some apps that you can get to get notifications when quakes like this happen.
Yeah, just a reminder, you can download the Shake Alert app to get earthquake warnings on your phone. Now, hundreds of earthquake sensors are placed across California. They track the tremors and warn you just before shaking arrives. It's important to keep in mind, though, that, with this last earthquake that we just felt, there was not a Shake Alert that was sent to our phones because of the light shaking. This is mainly for larger earthquakes. So if you download it on your phone, it can warn you if an earthquake is on its way. Now, also keep in mind that this is not going to predict earthquakes. It simply will notify you if there's an earthquake that could be shaking in your area. Now, that means that the farther away you are from the epicenter, the likelihood of you getting an alert increases. So the farther away you are from the epicenter, the likelihood of you getting an alert could increase. And you can download it on your iPhone or Android phones in the store. And a lot of people, of course, waking up this morning and remembering what happened 10 months ago, because it has been that long since the major earthquakes in Ridgecrest. Those quakes caused massive destruction to our rural community, and people there are still picking up the pieces. Just a reminder, you can check out all of our stories on the quakes in our Return to Ridgecrest special reports. Just go to kget.com.
In the meantime, the shaking is not done there in Nevada, so depending on how big these aftershocks are, people here in Kern County may still feel some of that today. Right, Alyssa?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Maddie. I didn't feel it. I live in the southwest portion of the city, and I was just making my coffee as usual. And of course, my phone started blowing up hearing about it. But as we take a look at the maps here, we can see that nothing remotely close to us yet. We are looking then at that 6.4, 20 miles southeast of Mina, Nevada. And you can see exactly how far it is away from us. And the fact that folks could feel it all the way here in Bakersfield is pretty remarkable. But we, again, could feel more aftershocks today. A chance of a magnitude 3 or higher is 93%. And there could be as many as 330 of those. A magnitude 5 or higher, 23% chance of that. And we could see 4 of those. To see another magnitude 6 or higher, there's only a 4% chance of that. In case you're curious, this is what we've seen in the past 12 hours out near Ridgecrest. And so there have been some little ones out there, but nothing big. So that is good news for us. Meanwhile, we're still watching the winds here, and we do have that wind advisory in effect through 6 a.m. with some gusts upwards of 55 miles per hour. So that's a look at your forecast. Temperatures today are going to be pretty mild, and we'll talk much more about that in your complete pinpoint forecast. Maddie, back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Alyssa. All right, we want to get on to our other top story this morning and the latest number of coronavirus cases here in Kern County. Public Health confirmed 50 new cases and 4 more deaths during its live briefing yesterday. The total number of cases now sits at 1,403 here in Kern County. Kern's death toll is 21. About half of those deaths are from local nursing facilities. However, almost 900 people have recovered from the virus. More than 11,000 tests for COVID-19 have come back negative, and there are 1,900 tests still pending.
As we mentioned, local skilled nursing facilities account for nearly half of the COVID-19 deaths in the county. And 17 News has learned about a quarter of these state-regulated nursing homes have at least one case of coronavirus. Kingston Healthcare Center has had the biggest outbreak with 116 cases and 11 deaths. The state says at least one resident has died at the Orchards Post-Acute Facility. The nursing home declined to comment. Meantime, Rosewood Health Facility confirms 2 employees tested positive, but says they've been in quarantine since early April. And 16 cases have been reported at Valley Convalescent Hospital, 9 residents and 7 staff.
This is something that is a concern to us. We are looking to see if there's any local resources that we can divert to Valley Convalescent. If we are unable to meet that request, we will send that request up to the state.
Hyde Street Skilled Care in northeast Bakersfield is also listed on the state's website with at least one case among residents. However, the facility says in a statement they have had 0 cases. In a statement, they said they had cared for a couple of patients who had previously been treated for COVID-19, but have since gotten over it. The state has started a COVID-19 testing program requiring every nursing home resident and staff member to be tested. Kern County will begin testing at Valley Convalescent Home starting later today.
Meantime, if you haven't been tested for COVID-19, there are now several sites in Kern County that will test anyone for free. And there are even more sites coming soon. This is the newest testing site that opened up in Arvin yesterday. It's at 204 South Hill Street. It's open Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Appointments are needed and there is no drive-through option. In addition to Arvin, there will be more sites in Taft, Oildale, Delano, Ridgecrest, and Kern River Valley. Kern County and state-run sites have dropped the screening criteria, so anyone who wants a test can get one. You can schedule appointments on the county's website. That's kerncounty.com. The county says state sites will bill you if you have insurance, and you can find all of this information on our website, kget.com.
Today, we expect to get a better picture of what the Kern County economy looks like during this pandemic. New figures will be released by California Employment Development Department later today, showing jobless claims in Kern County for the month of April. It's expected to show thousands of jobs lost and an increase in Kern's overall unemployment rate. Job worker adjustment and retraining notification, or WARN Act notices, obtained by 17 News suggest more than 4,700 people in Kern County have lost their jobs so far in April. We expect those local numbers coming up this morning at 8 a.m. And this job crisis continues to hurt millions of Americans. Nationwide, 36.5 million jobless claims have been filed over the last 2 months. That's an additional 3 million in just the last week. Governor Gavin Newsom projects the state unemployment rate upwards of 24% at its peak.
The time now is 5:11, and Governor Newsom painted a grim picture in California during his update yesterday. Lawmakers will have to balance a deficit of $54.3 billion. The governor's proposing a 10% pay cut for all state workers, including himself. In fact, Newsom estimates he'll need to make $6.1 billion in cuts and go through all of the state's $16 billion reserves in 3 years.
Now being forced back into this position where we are having to make cuts breaks my heart. Because one thing I know about cuts, there's a human being behind every single number. Behind every category is a dream that is either deferred, in some case, a dream that is denied.
Newsom's calling on Congress to pass the $3 trillion HEROES Act, which he says would provide the state with the ability to negate some of those cuts. The state budget also has a $19 billion shortfall for public school education. The state's budget director says unless California receives additional funding from the feds, the state would enact 10% base cuts on the state's public university system, including Cal State Bakersfield. The governor did not address how the budget could impact key state-funded projects here in the valley, including high-speed rail and improvements to the sinking Friant-Kern Canal.
Kern officials believe there is a better way to judge if the county can lift its pandemic restrictions. County Administrative Officer Ryan Alsop said under the state's current guidelines, Kern would appear to be failing, making it harder to reopen. But Alsop says county officials have spoken to hospital leaders. They believe it would be more accurate to judge Kern on its hospitalization rate instead of its positive tests.
Not about how we eliminate this virus. It's about managing the spread of this virus and managing the available hospital capacity so that we don't overwhelm the medical system here in Kern County. We are doing that well.
Because testing is ramping up, Alsop argues we're naturally going to see more cases. He also says the county faces a new financial crisis because of the response to COVID-19 and the oil price crash. The county budget will be a topic at the next supervisors meeting on Tuesday. That's where they'll also discuss a plan to give financial aid to small businesses, with restaurants first in line. Ryan Alsop and Senator Shannon Grove will appear on Kern County in Depth tomorrow on KGET.
And that's the subject of today's interactive feedback poll. We're asking, should Governor Newsom change the criteria for Kern County to reopen? Call or text us at 888-4617. Press 1 if you think yes, he should, 2 if not. You can also text, tweet, email, or Facebook your comments. Once again, our interactive feedback phone line is 888-4617. We'll air some of those comments and have the first results coming up at 5:30.
Welcome back. This week we're honoring the remarkable educators whose tireless dedication to our community have earned a spot as finalists for Kern County Teacher of the Year. This morning, 17's Taylor Schaub introduces you to Nicole Negroin, a Sierra middle school teacher whose work with her kids goes well beyond the classroom. Taylor?
Well, good morning, Alex. They say a great teacher wears many hats. Some days an educator, some days a mentor, but for Nicole Negroin, it's about being a friend. For Nicole Negroin, the classroom is now in her living room. The blackboard is now her keyboard, but her connection with her children, well, that hasn't changed one bit.
It's one of the bigger reasons why I do what I do.
While she excels at teaching English, it's Negroin's work outside the classroom that truly distinguishes her.
I always tell my 4 kids that I have my 4 kids, and then I have about 100 kids at school.
The Sierra Middle School teacher has always thought of herself as equal parts instructor, counselor, and friend.
Try to let them know that they're not just another body in a sea of bodies, that I see them, I know them.
Because as we all know, middle school can be a pretty confusing time, especially when you're isolated, facing a global pandemic.
They just want to talk. They just want to talk to us, and they just want to unload, and they just want to let us know how they're feeling.
Changing her students' lives, one Zoom call at a time.
Someone is taking me seriously when I'm saying that I am struggling, or I'm saying that I feel depressed, or I'm saying that I'm scared. It builds that sense of trust.
Still, Negroin had no clue the honor she was about to receive.
Our next finalist is Nicole Negron, a 7th grade English literacy and video production teacher with Sierra Middle School.
And while she was in awe of that honor, the only award Negroin cares about is watching one of her students succeed.
It's the light bulb moments, and it's the connections, and the lifelong relationships that you get to see when they call you, senior year, and are like, I made it through high school when I thought I never would.
Now, Alex, Negroin has the opportunity to apply for the California Teachers of the Year program along with the other finalists. That will happen later this year. In Southwest Bakersfield, Taylor Schaub, 17 News.